It was just another summer evening that seemed like it would be completely normal. My brother's two friends were sleeping over, so my mom and I decided to make things easier and order pizza for everyone. We went with a popular pizza chain in Arizona called Fired Pie and opted for takeout so we could eat it at home. We brought along my brother's friends and our husky, Frosty, who was still a puppy and very destructive when left alone. But as it turned out, bringing Frosty would be much more significant than just saving my blinds from being chewed up. When we arrived at Fired Pie, I wasn't in the mood to get out of the car. I was feeling lazy, but my mom and brother didn't want to leave me alone. Since Frosty couldn't go inside the restaurant anyway, he stayed in the car with me. I convinced them I'd be fine. The parking lot was dark, and I was lying down in the back seat, scrolling through my phone, with Frosty beside me. Suddenly, Frosty started whining, then began barking at something. At first, I thought he was just being anxious because he was still a puppy and didn't like being left alone. I patted him, hoping to calm him down. But then he started barking aggressively, and I was taken aback. As I shifted to comfort him again, I noticed a reflection in the side view mirror. A figure caught my eye. A man in a black hoodie and ski mask was staring directly at me. I screamed and turned around just in time to see him trying to open the door. Thankfully, it was locked. He yelled, "Open up the door." My heart raced. I was only 14, terrified, and didn't know how to react. Frosty stepped on me as he continued to bark at the man, and that snapped me back into reality. I knew I had to do something fast. Gathering my courage, I yelled at the man to leave and threatened to call the cops. For a moment, everything went silent. I looked around but saw no sign of him, so I got out of the car with Frosty and began running toward the restaurant. But just as I was almost there, someone grabbed me from behind. I tried to scream, but a cloth was quickly pressed over my mouth. The last thing I saw was Frosty running toward the restaurant before everything went black. When I woke up, I was in a hospital room, my body aching as if I'd been tossed around. My mom and brother were there, looking very concerned. I asked them what had happened. They explained that Frosty had run to the restaurant, and the waiters noticed him right away. When my mom and brother saw Frosty, they knew something was wrong. They rushed to the parking lot, but when they reached the car, I wasn't inside. My mom called the cops. Then Frosty began barking wildly at a suspicious van nearby. My brother and his friends circled the van to investigate. Inside, they saw blood on the back door. They found the back of the van and discovered me tied up, my wrists bound with ropes. Just then, the attacker appeared from around the van, holding a knife. He seemed ready to strike again, probably looking for another victim. Without thinking, my brother attacked the man, fueled by anger, while his friends grabbed the man's arms, disarming him. Meanwhile, my mom worked quickly to free me from the ropes. The police arrived soon after, arresting the attacker while I was rushed to the hospital. Later, it was revealed that the man was a convicted sex offender, drug dealer, and human trafficker. It's likely he had been planning to kidnap me and sell me. I'll forever be grateful to Frosty. I still often wonder what would have happened if we had left him at home. Most likely, I wouldn't be here to share this story with you. In 1990, I worked part-time as a waitress while completing my associate degree in business. Although I made some friends at the job, I didn't particularly enjoy it, especially since I was only earning $7.25 an hour. Every day felt the same until one night, an experience would stick with me for the rest of my life. It was just another evening shift when a dusty couple and their teenage daughter walked into the restaurant. I seated them at their table and went about my duties. While they were settling in, the girl accidentally dropped her fork. I picked it up for her, and as she took it from me, she held my hand, just for a moment, but a firm grasp. I didn't think much of it at first and continued my shift. Later, when I passed by their table again, the girl dropped her fork once more. I thought it was just another accident. I picked it up, and again, when she took it, she squeezed my hand, this time more firmly than before. It wasn't just an accident anymore. I walked past their table 2 more times, and each time she dropped the fork and each time she squeezed my hand tighter. By now, I was certain she was doing it intentionally. Something was wrong, but it was hard to grasp exactly what was going on at that moment. Not long after, The family finished their meal and left. I went over to clean the table, and as I lifted a plate, something caught my eye, a napkin folded underneath. I picked it up and saw the words, "Help me. Call the police." My heart raced as I stood frozen. Was the girl being held against her will? Was she trying to escape? Who were the people she was with? I couldn't process it at the time. I spent the whole week replaying the incident in my mind, haunted by the thought of the girl. Then it hit me. I recognized her. The more I thought about it, the more I realized she was a missing person. This had to be Antoinette Cito, the girl who had been missing for years. Her face and body matched the description I had seen in the news, and it was like a light bulb went off in my mind. That memory still haunts me every night before bed. I feel sick, knowing I didn't realize the severity of the situation. I could have helped her, could have stopped her suffering. I could have helped bring her home. I still feel like I failed her. Antoinette's mother, Penny, passed away in 1999 due to heart and liver issues. Looking back, I have a horrible feeling that Penny may have known more about her daughter's disappearance. In every interview she gave, she never seemed truly concerned, as if she didn't believe her daughter was in real danger. It still breaks my heart. Antoinette's whereabouts remain unknown to this day. Though law enforcement officials believe she is deceased, she's still listed as a missing person. I just hope, wherever she is, Antoinette has found peace and is no longer enduring a life of pain.